Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Viking Sports Report. I'm Athletic Director Doug Stotler. Today's guest is head soccer coach Ricardo Garza. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You've really got some great news to report to us, and I'd like to hear what that news is.
We get playoffs this year.
and tell the fans that may not know why you get playoffs this year and why you didn't get them last year.
Last year we had a one-year probation for sanctions dealing with eligibility, and we didn't get a playoffs. So this year it was lifted. It was just a one-year probation, and we're super excited about it. We can't wait.
How did your team last year in the 2009 season deal with that kind of information?
Probably typical what you would expect for 18, 19-year-olds to be told, there's no playoff. There's no trophy to chase. At first, that's the way it was. And then they just astounded the whole staff and just decided, you know what, we're here anyway. We need these freshmen to be recruited for next year. Mm-hmm. Let's try to go undefeated. We don't have a postseason, but let's go undefeated. Let's make this season worth it.
Right.
And that blew us away. And we're literally sitting with them at practice, and they're like, "Let's go, coach. Let's get going." And that was the best practice we had all year.
And what did that team end up record-wise?
We went undefeated in the region and the conference. So we were 9-0 in the region, 7-0 in the conference, and we ended up 15-3. But those regional games were all blowouts. I mean, they really made a statement. Besides the East Central game, which was the very first game after the sanction, and we went to double overtime. And that was the first game, and that gave us the catapult to go 7-0, 8-0 after that.
So this recruiting class for fall 2010, we're not totally sure that the sanction would be lifted as you signed them. So what kind of impact did this news have on you, your staff, and really these returning and new players? This had to be just tremendously good news for them. Extremely.
I mean, we were recruiting them. This year, luckily, most of them we had already been recruiting a year prior, and they had already known about the program, and they had already seen the players play, and they knew up first that we should be able to be lifted off sanction, but there's a possibility we won't, and they came. They're like, you know what? We know our freshman year is going to prepare us,
right,
and it doesn't matter. And when we told them, hey, we're good to go this year, it was just like a relief. Even on the coaches, even though we knew we were probably going to be relieved, it was just nice and good feeling, and we enjoyed it that night, and then the next day got to it.
Well, Coach, I have to echo your sentiments. As athletic director, I was very relieved when that paperwork came through that the sanction was lifted. I'm sure your sophomores are one of those groups that are especially happy because they lived that experience. Tell us about the sophomores on your team this year, positions that they play, and perhaps some of their strengths.
Okay. Well, the character of the sophomores is really great. Since their freshman year was the first year we didn't go to nationals, they lost in the district final. They had that over their heads last year, not having that opportunity to go. And this year, with them seeing that the sophomores weren't able to go to nationals and it was out of their control, and them being freshmen, they realized this is it. This is our opportunity. We have an opportunity to go. And that has really been really strong in the offseason last year to get ready for this year and in the preseason. So returning, we have our captain, which is George Martinez, who plays center back, our vice captain, which is Julian Rodriguez, who also plays center back, and they have Danny Martinez on the right and Johnny Avalos on the left. So our whole back line are returning sophomores. Now, Danny was redshirted last year, but he was in training. He knows the game. Mm-hmm. Johnny was actually a wide mid who has said to us, you know what, we need defenders. I'll step up and I'll play in the back because we were losing some players this year defensively. On the midfield, our heart of our field is Christian Martinez and Lasego Molamogi. They're the heart of the field because they pump the rhythm throughout the team, throughout the game. And then up top, Ricardo Valzian, he's a redshirt last year, but he is a proven attacking player for us.
I've seen these young men in various capacities on campus, and they are tremendous athletes. But obviously, you've got to put 11 players on the field, and you had to get out and recruit a lot because you lost a lot.
Yes.
So who are some of the freshmen that you're counting on?
Freshman starters to start us off is John Schnurbush to start us in goal. Freshman keeper immediately stepping in. Ryan Moriarty will back up John. he'll step in. He actually stepped in the Parkland game for John. John was ill and was able to play. And Ryan stepped in and got us the first win, and that's what we need off the bench from those freshmen. Left midfield is Zach Koss. He comes out of Seckman High School, and he has started from the very beginning. And we thought he was going to be a player that comes off the bench and produces. He immediately took the starting spot.
Great.
Immediately. Christos Balafutos is the other freshman who was recruited. He's actually a St. Louis boy, but has been living in Greece the last couple of years, and he's been getting very good experience from that. Up top, we also have Alex Haverstick out of DeSoto, and he is a firecracker. We've played him in the back because he's so aggressive and strong, and we also played him up top. The guys off the bench that will come off is Tyler Neese. He plays in the midfield. Ted Hitson plays up top. We have Erwin Negepsi, big, strong player. We played him up top. He can also play in the back for us. Big benefit. Christian Poveda, this was his third year trying out. This year he came in fit, came in technical sound, and he made a team. So really proud of him to come in and make the team off of that. Other players that we have, Corey Barrett is a freshman. He's already scored a couple goals for us this year,
Great.
Preseason and the regular season. And Kyle Otek, his fitness was a big issue in the preseason, but we just trained this morning and he looks top-notch. He's out of St. Pius, and he's going to be someone mid-season who we're expecting to come off the bench and really, really make a difference. And Michael Farmer is the last one. He's a defender from Hillsborough, and we'll be looking to him because we only have 4 defenders right now. He's the 5th. And Cody Martin was a walk-on, just showed up at the preseason, and his heart got him on the team, and he's really been working really hard for us.
That's great. Coach, I think that puts us at a roster near 22, 23 players. There's certainly a lot of guys you've got to consider. Have you settled on a starting lineup yet?
Yeah, I had left off Juan Moscote, and he's actually someone who is not necessarily in the starting lineup, but he's been rotated. Our starting lineup would be our 4 sophomores, which is Danny, Johnny, George, and Julian, Johnny in the nets. And then Christian and Leslie in the midfield, Christos on the right, Koss on the left, and then Otek and Juan Moscote, they come in and fill those voids if we need them. And then right now it's a toss-up up top between Corey, Ricardo Valzian, and Alex Haverstick. All 3 have been used in different times. We've played 4 games so far, and we haven't had a set starting 11 necessarily. Every game it's been slightly different, and it hasn't taken anything back. Like, we're still at the same level, so that's really good.
You know, I really like to watch the goal scorers. I love to score points. Who are your primary scorers this year?
Well, luckily, in the Parkland game, we had 4 different players contribute in that game to give us a nice edge over Parkland. Out of the midfield, Christos Balafutos is going to be a shot scorer. He scores from 25, 30 yards out, and that really helps out a lot because you don't have to grind it out in the final third. You have a player like that gets wide open and takes a rep from far out and can beat a goalkeeper from anywhere. So he'll be a goal scorer from the back. On free kicks, Julian Rodriguez will be coming up for free kicks, and he got a goal against Parkland. Free kick, if we can put it in his area, he's going to put his head on it. So I'm sure he'll get a few more goals for us on the free kick area. Up top, Ricardo Valzian, Corey Barrett, and Alex Haverstick. They're going to have the responsibility of putting it in the net, and so far this year they've shown they can.
And Coach, obviously a real big part of your philosophy is defense, and you mentioned earlier the players that could possibly be in goal. Who are those guys again?
John Schnurbush, he's from Farmington. He's a starter. He's a set starter, unless someone needs to step in, and that's where we brought in Ryan Moriarty. Ryan Moriarty came in late in the preseason, had the opportunity to be called the backup keeper and step in when necessary, and we've had a really nice balance between them two. Good relationship. They talk to each other a lot, and that's what we really need. So we're pretty confident in our goaltending this year too.
And again, I don't think people understand how important the goalkeeper is, but even more important to your defense are the field players. Who are your defensive specialists?
The guys that have to really take care of business would be our 2 central defenders, and that's going to be Julian Rodriguez and George Martinez. They protect the keeper. In front of them, either Leslie or Christian, one of those players are always going to hold, and they're always going to protect George and Julian. So we have a nice balance of 3 separate players at all times rotating in and protecting the keeper. Everyone else defends immediately when we lose possession, and the other guys just kind of fall into place. So, I mean, technically the whole team has to defend,
right?
But those are the guys that really have to hold it down, put players in position vocally, and set us up to win the ball back.
Coach, heading into your second year, one of the things that you've been able to remain consistent on is your coaching staff. Talk a little bit about how important they are and who they are.
Ade Reek is our associate head coach, and he's been here, I think this is his third or fourth year now, and he contributes big time in the training aspects of the game. Ade and I are able to split off. I can work with the attacking players, he can work with the defending, or vice versa. Or one day he could have the whole team and I can go work with the goalkeepers. That's something that most junior colleges just don't have the capability of having two qualified coaches to be able to train the team at a high level. Alex Ochoa, he actually works a 9-to-5 job, but you would think he's here in the office next to me every day. He's constantly emailing back and forth, working with the recruits, helping out, contacting coaches before we go and play them. Like, he's literally, I feel like he's in the office with me every morning. He's a very good contributor. And we just added Dustin Atarian, who's going to be a volunteer coach. And I've coached him in the past, about 10 years ago or so. And he is going to also kind of get his feet wet, help out with little things around the office, help out with the program in any way that he can, help out with recruiting. And this year we really have to go out and recruit big time for not only the 2011 season, but we need to get on the ball with the 2012 season.
Coach, you had a great year last year. You finished overall 15-3, and obviously large contributors to that team were sophomores. And you had several that really got some nice scholarships and have moved forward to four-year schools. Who are those guys and where did they end up?
Shadi Harb, he was our goal scorer, our All-American last year, my first All-American, and he is going to Mars Hill, quality Division II program, coached by Ian Clare, who is one of the best collegiate coaches in the country. And Shadi already has been calling every day, just talking about how he loves it, how the training's really not top-notch, how Jefferson has prepared him really well for it. He's coming in and starting right away, and his players already look up to him because he has that leadership role. And he was a contributor last year to keep the freshmen upbeat with not having playoffs. He was the first one to step up. Colin Pugh is another player that we lost who is going to have some big shoes to fill for him. He's playing at East Tennessee State University. He loves it, absolutely loves it. And Alan Loy is actually returning to us, and he's going to be a manager. He wants to come back. He wants to finish up some school before he moves on, but he's going to have lots of opportunity. Alex Dumont decided to go to West Florida, and it came down to Alabama, West Florida, Alabama, all summer. And he decided to go with West Florida, and it's really good for him. Junior Prevelis, he decided between either Jefferson, Culver Stockton, Alabama. It was a toss-up between all three, and just timing issues, he decided to go ahead and move on to Culver Stockton and continue his education there. The last player that we had come in is Eduardo Echenique, and he decided to also come back with Loy and prepare himself for the next year and graduate this December. And Oregon State right now, who I just went up and coached this past summer, have a relationship with them. They're going to try to bring in Eduardo this spring semester if they can.
Coach, one of the benefits of coaching good players is it makes you look awfully good. And in your first year, you were selected as MCCAC Coach of the Year. How did that make you feel, being Coach of the Year in your first season as a head coach?
I mean, that's not what I expected the first year at all. I mean, it was to be honest, I mean, it's almost like the sanctioning helped because the boys played with so much more fire and they went undefeated. And I mean, without the team, coaches don't get awards and coaches don't get all that. So I owe it all to the team and the staff that we have.
Well, congratulations on the award, by the way.
Thank you.
An interesting part of your schedule this year was your preseason schedule. And you were able to put 3 four-year varsity teams on your schedule. What kind of benefit does that have for your team versus playing other junior colleges in the preseason?
Well, we kind of thought about, since last year, with us not having a postseason, that experience that you get in the postseason is tremendous for your team, not only going to an international tournament, but also your returning players. And with us not having that opportunity, what we decided to do was add a third team, a fourth of a four-year institution to play us, to prepare the team early in the season, to play against teams that could potentially beat us. Usually, you would play one team that you know that you can mess around with, try new systems, and you could probably get a win. Mm-hmm. And then the second team is a little bit tougher. But this year, we played a team that I thought that could potentially beat us first, right off the bat, which was Columbia College, and they proved that. They beat us 5-1, and the boys, right there after the first, kind of got a little reality check of we're going to meet levels like this in the playoffs this year.
Right.
And then we played Maryville University, and that's a team that we play every year. They're very disciplined. They're not as aggressive as Columbia College, and we thought that would be a nice buffer. Prepare them for the last game, which would be UMSL. We did defeat Maryville, strong 2-1, possessed the game, got our rhythm back, gained confidence by that game, and then we finalized it with UMSL. I knew UMSL was going to be big, strong, and fast, and that's what it was. The guys got beat up really good, just what we needed them to get beat up. Since we came off that win, we needed to have another loss fresh on their faces going into the regular season, and it really paid off for us because the Parkland game, we had to really grind it out, fight it out, and that UMSL game, I really believe, got us there and got us that victory.
Well, good thing we've got an athletic trainer if you're sending the guys out to get beat up. Tell us a little bit more about the Parkland game. Obviously, we played well enough to win, I believe, a 5-3 victory.
Yeah.
Did our performance meet your expectations?
On two different levels. Right now, because of the heat this year, I mean, this has been the hottest preseason we've ever had, and we have not been able to utilize the preseason like we normally would to get the players prepared fitness-wise. So you can pretty much cut out half of what we would normally do in a fitness regiment during the preseason. So as you can understand, the Parkland game, we're not fit. We're still not fit even today where we would want to be. So I had to go into the game with a different tactic, different expectation of the team. I knew we were going to use pretty much the whole bench throughout the game.
Right.
I knew that we weren't always going to be able to possess the ball, that we were going to catch our breath and just defend as a group. But we got the goal early, and it looked like it was just going to be whatever we wanted to do that day. If we wanted to score more goals, if we wanted to possess.
Sure.
Immediately we had a breakdown. They tied the game. And 3 separate occasions we were down by a goal. And the boys still came back, and they still came back. And they were fighting. I had to take them off because they were just exhausted, and I put a new guy on. And that's what you want. You don't want a guy asking, with his arm up, get me out. You know, they gave you everything they got until the coach realized he can't go no more. I need to get him off. And the guys off the bench came in, and they had the same fire. And that's how we were able to come back, go convincingly up 5-3 with 10, 15 minutes left in the game. And I was really proud because it wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't a pretty victory at all, by any means. But it was one of the games where they just grinded it out, and I think that's what the preseason prepared them for.
Coach, how would you describe the style of this team? Is this going to be a grind it out? Is it going to be a run and gun? Are they going to beat them up? Explain to somebody that maybe doesn't know a whole lot about soccer what style you prefer this team to play.
Our style, the core of our style is going to be possession. We're going to have the ball most of the game. That's for sure. Whether we possess the ball in the backfield and make the other team come and defend us, or whether we go at them all day long and make tons of combination play going forward. The one thing that's going to change throughout the season is the fitness. Right now our fitness level is a lot lower. So we may give up possession on purpose to give them the ball on their end and go high press, go defend them, make the other team force mistakes. It requires us to have a lot less effort, just shifting as a group. But once we're fit, and that should be about 2 or 3 weeks from now, after playing all these games, the boys are going to be fit. It's going to be a high run and gun type system. We're going to possess, but we're going to possess to attack you. Instead of us knocking the ball 5 to 7 times, we're going to knock it 2 or 3, and we're already going to be down your throat ready to score. And that'll be the difference when they're fit. Right now, we have to play smart. We have to make sure our body can handle the full 90 minutes without having to sub every 10, 15 minutes. And so 2 separate tactics.
Coach, there's been a real interesting shift in Region 16 soccer this year, and much of that is due to the dropping of the St. Louis Community College Merrimack program. How do you see your team stacking up in Region 16, knowing that Merrimack is now out of the picture?
Well, first of all, it's a bummer that Merrimack is out because you could always look forward to getting a competitive game from them. But now that they're out, I wouldn't say it makes our job easier in the region because the Kansas City teams are getting better. East Central is always going to be competitive no matter what level of players they brought in. When you have to go and play at East Central, it's always going to be a game. And this year, we have to go play at East Central. So I definitely wouldn't call East Central a pushover this year. Forest Park, we've invited them down to do a lot of our recruit camps and just look at other players that we couldn't bring in. And I know they've improved. I mean, I don't think they've came too far since last year, but I know they've improved a little bit. So I don't take anyone in the region lightly, but I'm really confident that our team can do the same thing we had done last year.
Coach, you're, again, heading into your second season. And I think there are a lot of people out there that I run into that is really getting familiar with your program. Can you kind of recap the soccer history at Jefferson College? You've been here throughout that entire time, but give our fans an idea of where the program began and where it's come to today.
Okay, we started the program in 2005, and we actually won the region our first year of existence. We won the district the first year of existence, and we were the first collegiate athletic program in the history of collegiates to ever go to the national tournament in the same year that you were first existed.
Wow.
Yeah, the first team to do that right here in Hillsborough. So the second year, when everyone was calling it a fluke, and they must have had good players, which is impossible to bring in a whole plethora of good players your first year. It just doesn't work like that. We went and won the national championship the second year. And that was amazing because after going to nationals your first year, you already had a target on your back the following year.
Right.
Oh, we got to beat that team. They didn't belong there.
Sure.
And to win nationals, just sustain the program right there. The third year, bigger target on our back. Now we're the national champions. We did get back to the national tournament. We finished fourth, which is very respectful. The fourth year, we won the region. We didn't go to nationals. We lost in the district final. And then last year was our fifth season. So this is our sixth season. We're still fresh. We're still young. I think we've created a nice tradition here where we've won the region 4 years in a row. We've gone to districts 3 years in a row, gone to nationals 3 years in a row. I think that the tradition is nice and strong here in the county, but we are not done. I really think we can get another national championship within the next year or two, or at least get into the final. And our first goal will be to win this region this year. Second goal, let's get through the district, because now the districts are harder. And then let's get into the national final. And from there, the team will take over.
Coach Garza, you've really evolved as a Viking. And you've gone from very successful team-oriented assistant coach to head coach now. How have you evolved as a head coach from first year to second year?
Well, the first year it was kind of feel everything out, feel the department out, figure out everything that a head coach should be doing off the field. And I was just a sponge last year, asking many questions, making sure that everything was done right, everything that was going forward. And my goal last year was just to improve. I wanted to improve everything on and off the field from the team. The academics was a big thing that I really wanted to do. I raised the standard for my players, and they accomplished it. We had the highest GPA that the soccer team has ever had, and the same year that we had sanctions come down. So again, that attests to the character of the boys, but also my staff being disciplined and being behind the players and pushing them.
Right.
Not pushing them to fail. We made the bar low enough where they could succeed. And now this year we're going to raise that bar just a little bit higher. And every year, no matter what the circumstance, that's going to be what we're going to be expected to do. On and off the field, as a staff, as a team, we're going to do better every time. And so this way we get back to the national championship, we're going to be even better. And the tradition's just going to grow. If I ever move on someday, I know the tradition will still be here, and that's what I want to leave behind.
Coach, we're just about out of time. Let's give the viewers an idea of what's coming up for Viking soccer in the next couple of weeks.
Well, this weekend is going to be one of the biggest tests. We're playing the defending national champions, Tyler, in Tyler, Texas. We're also playing before them, San Jacinto. Now, against San Jacinto, I believe we share a record of 1-1-1, something like that. But Tyler, we are 0-2-1. So I don't believe we've beaten Tyler yet. We've beaten San Jacinto at the national tournament. But it's going to be really hard to go into Tyler, Texas.
I'm sure.
When you go to Texas, you don't expect to come out with a victory. Nobody ever does. No one. The referee, everything, the culture down there, it's a great soccer experience for your boys to play, and that's why we try to play them every year. Again, playing nationally ranked teams that could beat us will prepare us in the long run. But then the very next weekend, we got to play 2 more teams that are at nationals. Illinois Central, who's now in our district, and Iowa Central. And against Illinois Central, we've been undefeated successfully, and Iowa Central. But they're not pushovers by any means. Every year, it's a top-level game. A lot of the recruiters come, and they love watching those games played. No matter who's going to win, they're recruiting. And we have to keep that in mind as well. We're not the last stepping stone. We're the first stepping stone for the boys. We got to get good competitive games so the recruiters will come out, take the game's credibility high, and let the players learn so when they move on, they have a lot of game preparation.
Coach, we're out of time.
Okay.
I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
That's Ricardo Garza, head men's soccer coach at Jefferson College, and we want to remind you that the first soccer game will be September 14th at 4 p.m. We are playing St. Charles Community College. I'm Doug Stotler, Athletic Director. Thanks for watching the Soccer Sports Report. See you next time.